So for you Batman fans out there, I know you guys remember the scene where Bruce gets looked at and he gets the question asked to him, why do we fall? Now, if you remember my last video that discussed why you must fail to succeed, right? And why failing works and things like that. Well, we're going to get into it a little bit further here because failing is a sense of falling, right? But you don't learn how to ride a bike without taking a few hits. So let's get into it, shall we? All right, remember this quote: pain is weakness leaving the body, right? So many people who go to the gym have seen this quote in the gym or on, t-shirts, so on and so forth, and it says pain is weakness leaving the body, etc. But what does that mean, right? Well, here's a clear example, breaking it down Barney style for certain people. A baby causes a lot of pain in the womb, creating contractions and everything else. When it leaves the body, right? Because the baby also is not a sense of weakness, but let's just say, have to eat for two. You have to do double the work, right? So that's a strain on the body and to the individual. So now they're no longer weak, they are stronger in order to, preserve that life that they just pushed into the world, right? You want to go to the park? Let's go to the park. I carried you around and added some weight, and I walked around like that for 9 months straight, so on and so forth. You're extremely fit now. Why? Because you're not carrying the baby around anymore. You're pushing it in a stroller, and your legs have been trained over time in order to do so. And then those children, they grow up and then they go to school, right? And just to reiterate, the baby's in the womb for 9 months, and for 9 months out of the year, children go to school, and then they get the summertime to either make up classes or to process, i.e. go on vacation, the information within those 2.5 to 3 months, right? Of the 9 months of learning that they did, right? First semester, second semester, etc. And then normally kids are off in June, July, and go back in August, early September timeframe, right? And the process repeats for several years. And so you can see that every, let's say, 3 quarters or so, right? Every 3 quarters, there is a processing that has to go on, right? For roughly a month to 90 days, right? Or you can learn something within 90 days, hence P90X and all these other different programs out there, get rich in 90 days, or this, that, and the third, because that span of time will not only solidify habits, but start to instill certain behaviors. So let's continue, right? After we fall, we learn how to deal with not only pain, but bounce back faster. So I took a pause there. Well, how do you bounce back faster? Well, if you remember the last video where I discussed, if you only have 20-pound dumbbells, make the most out of it, right? Use them for squats, for curls, shoulder press, side laterals, etc. Put one in a backpack, so on and so forth, and then use that when you do push-ups. Get the most out of it. Take one of the 20-pound dumbbells, maybe go for a light jog while you're holding it in your hands to work not only your biceps and your arms and your grip, but your endurance, because you're adding more weight to the body if you're into fitness, right? And then, of course, you have your recovery period. Now, when I say bounce back quicker, most people will be like, oh, well, if I use a 30-pound dumbbell, will I bounce back just as fast? No, obviously, because you put more sticky points in there. However, you will be able to go in knowing, if you built up from the 10 to the 20 to the 30 to the 40, etc., you would be able to not only anticipate but understand everything that is going to happen when you add more weight. This is a very simplified way of me of explaining things, but this can be applied to anything, almost anything in life. Education, starting a business, not just going to the gym, but learning martial arts and sparring for real, as you do that, right? If you're a speaker, speaking more in order to get in front of more people, right? Having special nights and events for certain things because you're going to hit different demographics of people. On this night, we're going to talk about this. On this night, I'm going to bring in some people and we're going to talk about this. And in the process, you give back to the community. Now, as you grow, lifting more weight, yes, you're going to go in moving quicker because you know how to anticipate certain things because of the experience. This is what I mean by you learn to deal with pain and then bounce back faster, right? Excuse me. So let's go to the next one. And I think the last one here, just to wrap everything up. It's supposed to suck, right? This is something we get told not only in the military, but in life, depending on where you grew up. You know, when people are complaining, so on and so forth, I'm like, it's supposed to suck, right? This is why you hear the term of people who play militaristic games or were in the military or law enforcement or whatever background that they heard this from, embrace the suck, right? It's going to suck, embrace it because it's supposed to, right? So the reason why is because people do not learn with ease. They learn by energy output when learning, right? It's like going to the gym. If you've never picked up weights before and you pick up moderately heavy weights that you can do, let's say 10 to 15 reps with, and then you add 10 pounds to that, you're not going to hit the 10 to 15 pounds or 10 to 15 reps, sorry, with the weight that you are currently carrying because you're not used to it, right? But it's supposed to suck because that's how you get stronger and that's how you succeed when you fall in life. If it was easy, then you would go around telling people that it is easy. The thing is that not everybody is the same. If you take a holistic approach to things, if you are a female telling this to a male, well, it's different. If you are a male telling this to a female, it's different. If this is a male telling another male, it's different. And the same goes with female to female. Now, some of you might be saying, why is that? Because you don't know their background. You don't know what external, internal forces, right? Depending on their locus of control, what is holding them back? Because I'm pretty sure it didn't hold you back. And if it did, you can assist them with that process. But until you assist them with that process, it's not going to be easy for them, right? Or let's say you're a DJ or a great artist. Yes, it was easy for you, so on and so forth. For other people, it's hard, right? You know, maybe you're a great communicator or a great architect, so on and so forth. Yeah, it's easy for you because you took the years, the time, the money, and everything else in order to understand, ask questions, go to different people that either failed or succeeded and learn what they learned and continued and took what was necessary and moved on. But because you did that, you're able to say it's easy in the current moment in which you are saying it. It wasn't easy in the beginning. Nothing is. And that's what I'm referring to, right? So I hope you guys enjoy this video, and I hope you guys take this as a grain of salt, let's just say. Throw it over your left shoulder if you want for good luck, because life is rough. And if you think it's a straight line, or you have only lived a straight line. You said you were going to do something, boom, it happened. You said you were going to do something, boom, it happened. You said you were going to do something, you may have tripped up, but you swiftly picked up and kept going, and you did it. And then it just kept going that way, and you just went on this great progression, right? It's not like that for everybody. Remember that. Some people excel and find the areas of expertise early in life, others later. Colonel Sanders, 70-something, but I'm sure if he was alive today, because he only made fried chicken, you would ask him what was his secret to become so large in comparison to everybody else that has made fried chicken. So, I will talk to you guys later. Till the next time. Mwah. Peace.